Well, praise God and welcome to Leah Home on Light. Today, we are covering Matthew chapters 10 and 11. So I hope you're ready for this. Some of the good stuff, some of the teaching, okay? Now, we're probably going to do cliff notes on this, sadly. Because there's 42 in chapter 10. I think there's about 40 or so in chapter 11. No, there's 30 in chapter 11. Verse 1. And when he called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power. He gave them authority over unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of diseases. And of course, it gives verses 2 and 3. It gives the actually 2 through 5. Okay, then verse 5, these 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay, and so I'm looking some more to see if there are any verses. Okay, verse 13, it says, and if the house be worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it be not worthy, let your peace return to you. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear you, your words, when ye depart out of that house or that city, shake off the dust and there's plenty of references there. Shake off the dust of thy feet. Verse 15. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city. Now, I don't think what church leaders have said that the Lord kind of meant that in some ways, metaphorically in some ways. I don't know. I'm not like one of those Bible scholars that knows a lot of the Greek, and so to speak. Okay, so I'm going to just go by whatever perspective I can. Okay, verse 23. If I can get this crazy thing to work. But when they persecute you in this city, flee ye into another. For verily I say unto you, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. Verse 24. The disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. That tells you something right there. Okay, verse 25. It is enough for the disciple that he become as his master, and the servant as his Lord. So Jesus is calling, hey, try to be as I am, but we're called to be Jesus to the world. So that tells you something right there. Still looking for some good tidbits. Okay, verse 33. Obviously, we're nearing the end of looking at chapter 10. But whosoever shall deny... Okay, we might as well go back to 32. Whosoever, therefore, shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father, which is in heaven. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him also will I deny before my Father, which is in heaven. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Verse 35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against his mother, and the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. So basically what this is, this whole thing in Luke chapter 10, this is the Lord's instructions to the apostles to begin missionary work in gathering those that are already in Israel. Okay, chapter 11. Okay, at this point, John, Jesus departed to teach and to preach in some other cities. Now, John had been heard in prison, he'd heard the word of Christ, and he's asking, hey, are we those that look for someone else, or should we look for another? Verse 4, Jesus answered and said unto them, Go and show John again these things which ye do hear and see. The blind receive their sight, and the lame walk. The lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear, and the dead are raised up, and the poor have the gospel preached to them. That tells you something right there. So he's lecturing about John the Baptist. How John was just a prequel. Okay, we're going to do verse 9. But what went ye out for to see? A prophet? Yea, I say unto you, and more than a prophet. So So he's basically talking about the prophecies that were written about John the Baptist, how he was a forerunner in order to bring in Christ. Because John had to be considered the least of these in order to do that. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. Now, what that means, the violent are seeking to take you over. So I think that this is part of our distracted, defiant culture that the adversary has put in. Now I'm going to do a couple of verses in the JST. But the day will come when the violent shall have no power. For all the prophets and the law prophesied that it should be thus until John. Yea, as many as have prophesied have foretold of these days. And if ye will receive it, verily, he was the Father who was for to come and prepare all things. See, John the Baptist had the Aaronic priesthood. And this, it's just a preparatory gospel, okay? Now, verse 14, and if ye will receive it, that is Elias, which was for to come. Now, what he's talking about is a restored dispensation through John the Baptist. He was as a form of Elijah. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. Okay, so obviously his preaching is very strong. Preaching about John. And of course, he's like, they were telling me, they were talking about John the Baptist, this guy's the devil, he has a demon, And the Son of Man comes to him and says, hey, he's a gluttonous man and a wine bibber. Now, a wine bibber is, pretty much a drunkard. A friend of tax collectors and sinners. Okay, so now, that's some pretty strong stuff right there. Verse 20. Then began he to upbraid the cities wherein most of his mighty works were done, because they repented not. This is a lot here. Now we're going to cover the last bit of Matthew 28. Matthew 11. We're going to do Matthew verses 28 through 30, and we're going to shut this down. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. Verse 30. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. And with that, I hope you enjoy listening to Leah on the Light. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, become a part of the Leah on the Light family. This is Jimi Hendrix saying until next time, remember who you are, read your scriptures, and please preach the gospel. God bless you.